G'day viewers, how are you? It's Wednesday, which means it's time for WAINGAFAT Wednesday. An acronym means, what am I not giving a fuck about today? This is where I like to take something that either some people or maybe a lot of people are being super worked up about. It's getting a lot of media coverage or a lot of online coverage, and honestly, it's not a thing I give a fuck about. It's remarkable how easy it is to come up with subjects like this and to try and present them to you in an entertaining way. This week, it's beyond obvious if you're in Australia, or indeed if you're part of the cricketing world, what's screaming out at me a story, and it's stupendous in comparison. The scale to which people are upset compared to the actual meaningfulness of it is really something to behold. Now, within the sport, it's big. I guess I should explain. It's the Australian cricket team. The senior players, captain, vice-captain, and an opening batsman are all in terrible trouble for ball tampering. And if you don't know anything about cricket, very quick explanation. There's a belief that if they made the surface of the cricket ball a bit rougher and wide, they get a change in the way it's bowled, which would give them an advantage against the team that were batting. They're trying to get the ball to swing more, and so this idea, if you made one side of it rough, that would work in your favour as the bowling team, and that's illegal. You know, when you tamper with the equipment, it tends to be illegal in sporting games. And the weirdest thing to me is they thought they'd get away with that. Again, if you don't know anything about cricket, I'll let you know. This international cricket, they have dozens of cameras, everyone, and it's always following the ball. So if you are on the field and you do something with the ball, they're going to see it in glorious HD. Like, most people are upset, they're saying, oh, this is so immoral, we're so let down. And there is a thing in cricket that there's the idea, completely false in my opinion, but there's the idea that it's a gentlemanly sport, it's a sport of honour. There's even a phrase in the vernacular, it's just not cricket, which means that's not fair or honourable. If someone's treated badly or unfairly, you say it's just not cricket. This is apparently just not cricket. And so they've done this thing, guy, when he picked up the ball field, again, it's super weird if you see the video of it. The guy, he's got a bit of tape down his pants that they put some rough dirt or gravel on, and he pulls it out and rubs it against the ball in the attempt to make it uneven. And as I said, surprise, surprise, he got caught, and then everyone involved had to fess up, and that included the team coach, and they're all in the shit. Started off with him getting suspended for the test match, but now the Australian Cricket Board is apparently going to suspend them for a whole year, which, I mean, you know, means not getting paid for a year, which is no small deal. And now, after a couple of days of gnashing and rending of clothing, I mean, the fucking Prime Minister going, all Australians woke up today shocked and disappointed. No, they didn't. Look, if you're in the sport, this is a big deal. I don't begrudge someone who is into the sport being upset about this. It's a fairly significant bit of cheating, and it's a really nasty, dishonourable thing to do. If you're into the sport, I completely understand in that context, you're not happy about it. But the fucking Prime Minister going, all Australians woke up shocked, disappointed, betrayed. No, some of us don't fucking care. I don't have to rag on people who do care, but when the media, and as I said, the American Prime Minister starts saying, it's a terrible dark day, it's the worst thing to ever happen, oh, Australia's international reputation is trash. It's like, some people, and for a laugh I'll start with Malcolm Turnbull, need to be slapped around with a wet fish for a while till they wake the fuck up to themselves. Because it's absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, in context, keep it in its context. Within the context of the game, it was a bad thing to do. It was against what a lot of people feel is the spirit of the game. They should be punished. They are being punished. Now people are saying that maybe they're being punished too much. Again, I don't care. I don't care what happens to them. But when people take it to this stupid degree, it's almost like that distraction. Like, I don't want to go with the tidelines of, but why are you upset about that when this is happening? Look, people are allowed to be upset about more than one thing. Or even just a thing that's important to them that's not important to you. But when you take it to this degree, when it's a couple days of non-stop, this is the worst thing that's ever happened, you go, Okay, I did not realise quite so many people were absolutely detached from reality. I mean, I had my suspicions. I had my suspicions. But when something like this comes out and people lose their fucking minds, my opinion of humanity goes even lower. And honestly, as anyone who watches me regularly will know, my opinion of people in general is pretty goddamn low. But when people can work themselves up into such a lather about this and act as if it's incomprehensible, the worst moral dilemma of the millennium, and it's like, dude, some guys cheated in a game to make money. Shit happens all the time. And cricket's nowhere near as high-minded as people trying to make out, particularly not the Australian team, who are notorious for their brutal tactics and being really quite obnoxious and into quite vicious abuse of the other team, colloquially known as sledging. To any normal person, fucking vicious abuse. And that's what they do in the gentleman's game. But yeah, this was clearly cheating. It's clearly significant within the sport. But when so, and this also, the British Prime Minister piped up about it too. I was just like, you people are just using this as a distraction, aren't you? And this is me more or less falling into the whole trap. Well, this is just in passing, because I honestly couldn't let it go, because like all those years ago when my mate Max said, it's like you say these things where what you're not giving a fuck about today, and I came up with the acronym. And it's a challenge I set myself to use that as a theme as much as possible to make a video to explain something to you and hopefully provide a bit of entertainment. And it all could have been leading up to this, because I've said a few times, this is a big one, but this will be my benchmark from here on. This to me is the ultimate in WAINGAFAT. The biggest gap between how serious something actually is and the scale of reaction and the drama people are applying to it. And I fear this is just the way the world is now. Probably the way it's always been, but we get to see it all more now. It's like, right, we can ignore a bunch of things that are really good. And no matter what your politics are, no matter what you care about, even if you are a mad cricket fan, I'm sure you can come up with a list of 100 things that you regard as more important and more serious than this. None of them got this sort of coverage. None of them got these statements from fucking politicians, did they? That's why I do WAINGAFAT, because I just like to express every now and then anyone who's got to treat this as the worst moral crisis to ever face Australia is utterly detached from reality, and I honestly don't give a fuck about them.